let's have a quick look. There's only a couple of 1 or 2 minute clips with these, but it's interesting just to wrap up on something we're going to talk about, because Nicola Willis was on AM show this morning talking to Lloyd, and they were talking about the unemployment that's going to be coming to many public servants, but also they started the conversation by talking about what's happening in Christchurch at the moment with the fire, which we haven't really talked about. So thoughts are definitely with people in Christchurch what that's going on.
Well,
And this was quite an interesting.
why is Lloyd dressed like a Bond villain?
I think because he's about to go, my precious, with a cat. I think that's the answer.
Yeah, that's what he's missing.
He asked an interesting question. I just want to play this question. It's only about 30 seconds, and then we'll talk about it.
I guess you've got money set aside for disasters like this.
That's right. And look, our focus at the moment is on the response on the ground. Our emergency management minister, Mark Mitchell, flew down last night. I understand there are 135 first responders there today, along with multiple helicopters and aircraft. So we wish all those responders the very best as they work to get out the fire. And we're just so grateful that no lives have been lost or anyone injured at this stage.
Now, I think it's fairly obvious to say we're all definitely, thinking about the fire and hoping the best for it, and we're happy for the government to use public coffers to help in that area. That's what we do. That one question made me think of two things, Chewy. All the people who are like, why should I care about the council next door's pipes? My city's made up for it and got their own. Then you go, okay, so fuck you, Christchurch, look after the fire yourself. It's not how we operate. But the second thing was, Lloyd's question was, we've got money set aside for this, eh? And she said, yep. Here's a question. How do you get money set aside, Chewy? You get it by having a surplus, by having something left over to be able to put aside, not running a zero balance budget, giving all the money back to landlords and stuff, and not having some left over to put aside. And when I heard him ask that question, and Nicola Willis going, oh, yep, we've got money set aside. Okay, thanks, Labour, for that money set aside, because those are the ones who set it aside. But what about this government reducing a whole bunch of income coming to the government? And we said this before the election, Chewy, for the next disaster. Yours, sir.
Yeah, like I was talking to someone the other day, and it's a year since Gabriel.
Yep.
Absolutely wreaking havoc, right? And since then, I've seen some updates on roads being opened and that sort of thing, but I haven't really heard a lot about the recovery or how much it costs, or how that area on the East Coast is doing, because we just don't hear from the East Coast a lot anyway. But how is it going? That was described as one of the most expensive things outside of the Christchurch earthquake.
I think it's either the most expensive or it's second. I think it might have been the most expensive.
Yeah, but it's gone. It's out of the news cycle. We don't care. We don't know. And I think just that question of, Nicola, we've got money set aside for stuff like this, right? And she goes, oh, yep. Like, expand.
Where's that come from? Who set money aside for us, Nicola?
Where is it in the budget? How is it replenished? How many disasters a year can we deal with? That sort of thing would have been comforting to hear, as we know that storms and disasters of various types are going to get more frequent and more severe, especially weather-related ones. And this is exactly what it is. This is what we're looking at the Port Hills. This is the second time in 10 years that the Port Hills has caught fire. We knew that the summer was going to be hot and dry, so fires are going to happen, and then right on cue, big fire.
Yeah.
And if I was a frontline firefighter doing the hours, doing the dangerous, dirty work, and hear what support are we getting from the government? If someone said Mark Mitchell was on his way, that would not inspire confidence.
I want to say this again, because
give him a bucket and send him up the hill.
For all the haters from the last government, if there's money set aside to handle this, who do you think set it aside? Previous governments. No one can say it was all Labour, but they had the last 6 years.
Though.
So if there's money set aside, who do you think set it aside, or at the very least, left it set aside. Just remember that for next time. Right, next question. They talked about CEOs of public entities not complaining about 6.5% reduction in their budgets. And they went on to talk about, what that was going to look like. And she was, I think I've missed the question where she said none of them complained. None of them complained about that. We've just had meetings. They're all happy about it. It's no problems at all. That was the first part of the conversation. Then we went into this part.
Not one of them, you said. Is that because they were too scared to say we can't deliver what you've asked us to deliver? Or is it because they actually can deliver it?
Can I just highlight that laugh and that smile as we're talking about people losing their jobs and public sector having less finances? That's the smile.
Remember how joyful she was to announce pre-Christmas job cuts?
That's the smile and the laugh when we're talking about livelihoods being lost and public service having less income put into it. That's the laugh.
I think they can deliver it. I think many of them know that the track we've been on as a country is unsustainable. An 80% increase in government spending in the past 6 years. And where are the results to show for that, Lloyd? Whether it's...
This is what I said at the start of the show. So the money we put in so far, where are the results for that, Lloyd? So what we're going to do is put less money in and get better results. What? So I've got $1 million to spend in my house. Budget said it's $1 million. I'm only going to now spend $900,000. Well, you're going to get a lesser product. It's not going to be the same. But where are the results for that, Lloyd? The money that's been put in. So our plan as national is less money, better results. So what that means, either bullshit or it means people left over working 2 jobs to have to reach these targets, or their CEO will have to let them go. Where are the results? That's what I want to know.
Increased hospital waiting lists, declining educational achievement, increased violent crime. We just haven't been getting bang for buck. And public servants know we have to do better.
Now, in terms of those public servants, you must have crunched the numbers. How many job losses are there going to be?
Look, I don't have those numbers yet. The process we're running through is that proposals are being put up to ministers for where savings can be delivered. We've asked agencies to focus on low-value programs, back office bureaucracy, reducing the amount they're spending.
Remember very clearly, though, the last time we heard her speaking, which was in the last week or so, she couldn't identify what a back office was. And she wouldn't identify. So what they're telling you is back office employment might go, back office workers. What's the back office? We haven't decided yet. That was the last interview. So just be very careful with these words, because they may end up saying what the back office is the people who answer the 111 calls. Well, they're technically in the office out the back. We don't know.
And managers are in the back, Pat.
Yeah.
And everybody knows an organisation can run without managers. It can run with less managers, but still, it's vague. It's vague. You've been in the job for a while now. Surely you had a plan. You had the numbers before you were elected, right? Because you're going to hit the ground running.
Yeah.
How long does the vagueness? How long can you get away with the vagueness?
Yeah. When are we going to know what the back office jobs are? You didn't know a week ago. Do you know yet?
This is Ruth Richardson 2.0. If I see her walking into a shot carrying a ring binder, people are going down.
All right, this has got about.
And let's just say, just because I've invoked Ruth Richardson, that the psychic damage that woman did to this country, we have not escaped.
Yep,
we are still feeling it. And Nicola has a framed picture of her in a room and an signed autobiography on her bedstand. 100%.
All right, we'll keep going.
On consultants and contractors. Inevitably, some of those proposals will involve restructuring and fewer roles in some entities, but I don't have a forecast on those numbers yet.
But you must have a ballpark figure. I mean, we've been asking these, all through the election, during those coalition negotiations at the end of last year. Surely you've got some ballpark figure. Is it going to be thousands, tens of thousands?
No, I don't have those numbers, because the process we're in is that individual proposals by agencies are now going through an assurance process. Ministers will then consider those proposals. We might reject some of them. We might ask some.
Oh, piss off. a CEO is going to come to you with an idea to reduce income, we might say no. We're happy to spend that money. Piss off.
For them to go a bit further, and then we'll take all of those together and assess the implications for headcount from there.
Okay,
So
you've announced
there's one more part of this conversation we're going to play, which is only 45 seconds, Chewie, and it's Lloyd asks her, how are you going to pay for your tax cuts? Which, funnily enough, she doesn't answer the question to start with, and then she goes, well, how do they do it? A very vague and non-committal answer after that. Let's just play that now, because then we can wrap up for the night and head off. So this is Lloyd asking the question about how you're paying for those tax cuts.
budget date, May the 30th. Have you come up with a way to fund your tax cuts yet, or are you still working on it?
Yes, we are confident that we will be delivering tax reduction as we've promised New Zealanders.
Wasn't that a fantastic answer? How are you going to deliver them? Yes, we will deliver them. This is my hostage video. What am I supposed to say? Winston's just standing over there looking at me. How are you going to pay for them? Yes, we will deliver them. So of course, we're a very serious show here. We talk about things like Gaza and Israel. So he asked the question again.
As soon as they monetized feeding poor kids into some sort of mincer, that's when we'll know. Either that or GST to 20%.
So then she does answer it, and she still looks like she's in a hostage video, but we'll have a look.
Have you come up with a way to do that, though?
Yes, we have. You've seen from us that we've embarked on the savings drive already.
Cutting jobs, good, got that.
We've identified some future sources of revenue, in particular.
Not going to explain that because we don't really have that sorted out yet.
New audit programs at the IRD to make sure people are paying their fair share of tax. Doing full cost recovery.
Though, Pat?
Yeah, no, that's true. I was saying, I wonder if it'll be the roundtable, business roundtable, or I wonder if it'll be Joe Blow who owns a dairy down the road. And
The IRD's already done that work.
Yep.
They did a whole report. National didn't want it to come out. It
311
came out,
families,
said,
yeah.
It's 311 families fucking making out like bandits. You don't need to turn around and go, the IRD's working out ways of auditing. Who? Are they the 311 families? No, because that's your fucking donor list.
Last bit.
For immigrants, processing of visas, introducing a gambling tax
fees
for
and
online
taxes.
gambling.
Fees and taxes from the national government. They're going to add fees and more taxes.
And look, taken together, the changes that we're making, and they are across the board, mean that we can responsibly deliver tax relief.